Hey, how about you and me take a trip to Lake Murray, South Carolina? Let's go. The lake was named after William S. Murray, who was an engineer involved in the design and creation of the dam. Above the surface, Lake Murray is home to happy-go-lucky boaters partying on water, but below the murky waves, you'll find relics of the lake's troubled past. It wasn't always like this, though. Construction on Lake Murray's massive double dam began in 2002 and wasn't completed until 2005. Back in the day, there were miles and miles of empty shoreline, not yet crowded with condos and lakefront mansions, but before that, the lake wasn't even a lake at all. It was in fact an area inhabited by small communities with a river running through it. Back in the 1920s, a man by the name of Thomas Williams thought it was a brilliant idea to bring hydroelectric power to the rivers in the Midlands. However, other engineers in South Carolina thought it was a dumb idea. However, one engineer from New York named William Murray, he saw value in this. In 1927, the Lexington Power Company began securing the massive amounts of land it would need to begin constructing the lake and the dam. More than 100,000 acres, 75,000 of which were wooded areas, were purchased. This section of land included 3 churches, 6 schools, and 193 graveyards that contained 2,323 graves. And nearly a dozen communities had to vacate, including Derrick, Pine Ridge, Selwood, Wessinger, and Cantsville. Let's not forget Leapart, Sevilla, Boylestown, Lorena, not to mention Holly's Ferry and Lorix Ferry, all had to leave. Many of the families that lived on this purchased property relocated not far from the project, although some of the smaller communities and poorer people in the area, those people suffered. And there are other things that lurk beneath the water surface. In addition to the communities, the most recent recovery was a B-25C Mitchell bomber that crashed into the lake during training exercises for World War II in 1943. Throughout the 1940s, a number of B-25C Mitchell bombers flying out of nearby Columbia crashed into Lake Murray during training exercises for World War II. A few were able to be recovered, but 3 remained until September of 2005, when a B-25C Mitchell bomber that crashed in 1943 was raised from the depths of the lake. I feel like talking about the myths now. Spanning 50,000 acres is just the right size to hide a monster, one specifically named Messi. The first sighting of Messi was in 1933 by a man named Gilbert Little of Ballantine, South Carolina, who claimed to see something large swimming in the lake. Now, do you think it's a coincidence that the sighting coincided with the emergence of Scotland's Nessie in 1933? I don't think so. And what about the ghosts? Not only are there men who died during the building of this lake, there's also men that refuse to sell their property only to live for eternity in their properties below the lake. Lake Murray is full of history, some dark, some benign, but one thing is true: if you decide to go there alone, you're not.